Poetically inspiring change. Poetically inspiring change for life, joy, peace in your body. Poetically inspiring change. Poetically inspiring intersectional healing and recovery.
Hey y'all, Angela Braxton Johnson here with Poetically Inspiring Change. Thank you for tuning in to my new podcast. And this is episode 0, the introductory episode. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. The title of this episode is called Remembering Mama, Celebrating Slim. Also, who is Angela? So maybe not in that order. Maybe it's more like, who is Angela? Since you're tuning into my podcast, Remembering Mama. And I'll tell you more about her and why, and celebrating Slim because it's his birthday. So I am a poetess. I come to you at the intersections of Black, fat, oldish, disabled sister poet, and again using poetry to teach, using poetry to inspire, poetry and stories to encourage intersectional healing and Black joy and diet culture recovery. So this will be a healing space. This will be a space where you can hear poetry. And yeah, we'll just go from there. So I'm going to share some poetry today. So, who is Angela? I wrote down some points so I could stay on track. I know who I am, but I'm oldish, so I can get to talking, y'all, and we'd be here all night. And y'all ain't got all night or all day or all morning, whatever time frame you're in. I just am grateful that you tuned in. So thank you. If you like anything that I say today, please let me know. You can reach me at on social media, Poetically Inspiring Change, and there's underscores in between that. So it's poetically _inspiring _change. That's Instagram. And on Facebook, I'm still working out the Facebook page, but if you put in my name, Angela Braxton Johnson, or Poetically Inspiring Change, it should bring it up. I have a website, angelabraxtonjohnson.com. So that's where you can find me and reach out and connect. And okay, so about me. When I say that I'm using poetry and stories for intersectional healing, you might wonder, well, what does that mean? Right? Here's this big word. How many? Intersectional, 5 syllables. What does that mean? Well, there's this term called intersectionality. How many syllables is that? Intersectionality. Dang, 7 syllables. And intersectionality, a phrase coined by Kimberly Crenshaw, who basically people with multiple forms of identities of oppression, that experience oppression, how that can affect their lives and in a negative way. And so when we're talking about intersectional healing, just like there's layers of discrimination, could be based on race, could be based on gender, could be based on age, could be based on financial status, could be based on body size, so many different things that cause oppression and isms, some kind of isms. So I embrace all of my identities, and I don't see them as a negative thing. It's just, this is who I am. So, and I hope that people will come into that, who tune into this space, will also be able to recognize their different forms of oppression that they might experience. I want you to know that you're in a space that I'm here with you. I'm holding space for you, and And hopefully you'll hear some inspiration that'll help you. Like Mama used to say, go another further. That means to keep going on. So, a little bit about me. Okay, I was born in Alexandria, Virginia. So, shout out to my Alex, Virginia people, DMV folks. I got cousins. Most of my maternal and paternal family are on the East Coast and, around the globe as well. But that's where I was born. And when I was about 3, we moved to Portland, Oregon. So we went from one coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast. And um, I have been in Portland for more than 5 decades, leaning into 6 decades now. So um, I'm going to share some things about me, and I'm also going to share one of my favorite things is poetry. I also love music. I'm a flautist, so I play the flute and been playing the flute since the age of 9. I started with a little recorder flute, the one they used to teach everyone in school back in the day. And then by the time I was 10, I had a full, you know, I had a regular flute. Um, I love to move. I love to write. I love being around my family. I love community. I love my dogs. I have one dog that's in the office with me now. I'm not going to call his name because he'll probably try to come over here and get on camera. But I have two dogs, 3 children, 6 grandchildren. I just love my family. I have siblings on the West Coast and siblings on the East Coast. I have aunts and uncles and cousins, both paternal and maternal. Most of them are on the East Coast. So I am just truly blessed, and that's a little bit about me. So, I'm going to be reading some poems tonight. I just thought I'd keep it light for this first episode. So, remembering Mama. Now, starting a podcast is something that I've been wanting to do for years. It's been, it was recommended to me from different people. It's been recommended to me, and it's something it's been on my heart. Well, I actually put it on my vision and dream board, and I'm looking at it right now. I keep my vision and dream boards in my office, which is also my creative space. So I see them every day. I have I have my 2023 vision board that's still up. Part of it is to remember what things have happened, the things I put on the board that God blessed to happen. And I have one from, it's either 2017 or 2018. I can't see any numbers from here, but I see a lot of the words and the pictures, and they're works of art. And last year, in December of 2023, I started working on my vision board. Uh, my sister friend Ritz has a vision board party every year, something she started a few years ago. I'm getting ready for the new one, Ritz, the next one. So I started at her party with the vision board, and usually when I'm doing a vision board, it takes me a while. Like I'll start it in maybe 2-3 weeks. Like I'm really intentional about what I'm envisioning and what's on my heart. Well, last year I have like these pink headphones. They kind of look like those Beats, and they're with the cushy padded ear um, headphones that goes over your head, and the padded cushy parts that go over your ear, and it says podcast for the people. That is on my vision board. So here I sit in November and finally doing a podcast. I wanted to launch my podcast on November 6th. Why? Because that's Mama's birthday. So I always, every year, my mom passed in November. No, she was born in November. She passed in 2024. And so every year on her birthday, I love to do something creative to celebrate her life and just to remember her. And it just keeps me in a good space mentally and emotionally because even all these years later, 20 years later, I miss Mama every day. I miss her so much. So I didn't make it. I mean, doing this podcast, there's so much to learn. Like, I'm learning how to do technology. I took a podcasting class that I started, I want to say the end of September, but it's the the seven figure podcast. Um, and I wasn't taking it necessarily to get seven figures, although I welcome that if that comes to me, but just to learn about podcasting. And I did learn a lot in that class. So um, I took the class and I've been working on it, working towards getting to start. I wanted the launch day to be on Mama's birthday, but honey child, when I tell you there is a learning curve for all the things, and this here oldish body with this brain that has like dust and cobwebs up here, that's what makes the hair underneath, underneath my locks a little bit gray. Anyway, um, it just didn't happen. But what did happen is I think around last month, maybe the end of September, I have to look in my phone to see when I wrote a jingle. So I wrote a jingle. Da, 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 da. I wrote the lyrics first, and then I wrote the melody, and then I changed the lyrics, sent it to my son Alvin Jr., and said, "Hey," because he's a music director of um, multiple projects, but all of my children have a band and production company to get together. So my daughter, Leah Loren, she's the oldest, and then my son, Alvin Jr., he's the next one, middle child, oldest son, and then the youngest one, Alexander, who most of his friends call him AJ Jiz, or his mom, or Alex. I call him Lex. Anyway, and my son from another mom, Ian, they all worked together to get the podcast jingle together, and they gave me a rough draft copy. Some of you may have heard that rough draft copy, um, which I wasn't supposed to share that much, but I didn't fully understand that. But it happened, and I created a video. So on November 6th, I actually shared that video. That was the creative thing in Mama's memory. So, and also, I want to share a couple of poems. Now, being a poet, I used to do custom poems for people. And back in December, it looks like I must have wrote this poem for Mama on Christmas, because it says copyright December 25th, and it's called Mama. I'm just going to read this. Mama, you are the reason that I'm here today, and there are a few things that I really must say. This is not from a book or a Hallmark card, but heartfelt expressions coming straight from my heart. For who you are and all you have done, I love you. For helping me thus far and for all the shared fun, I appreciate you. For encouraging me to go on when I no longer wanted to run, I thank you. For keeping our family together through all types of weather. And I'm not just talking about outside, but the storms of life you have taken us through with pride. I applaud you. For helping me to slow down, even in church when I'm moving too fast. For always knowing when I'm broke, even when I don't tell you, and you give me your last. For having the love, patience, understanding, and wisdom like no other. For not only giving birth to me, but for being a true mother. Thank you so much for being there for me and also helping me to build a strong family. I love you, Mama, and happy holidays from your daughter, Angela, and the AJ crew. And I didn't even realize that I forgot that I I remember writing this poem to Mama, but I forgot that it was on Christmas. So Christmas is right around the corner. And I'm going to share one other poem about Mama to give you a little bit about her character. So, Mama, November 6th, shout out to the Scorpios. And my husband also was born in November. Of course, this is his birthday, November 20th. Now, I love the relationship that my husband had with my mother. Even before we were dating, I mean, we were just really good friends, both serving in ministry. Because of our age gap, there was no way that we would have dated while I was in high school. Um, so there's 6 years, almost 7 years difference between my husband and I. So there's no way. And my children, they're so silly. When they were younger, they used to make, crack jokes about my husband being older than I, not even 7 years older, almost like 6 years, 9 months. But they used to act like it was 20 years. And so Alex and Alj they'd say stuff like, so, Mom, when you were in kindergarten and Dad was in high school, what was it like? Like seriously, they're silly. My kids ain't got no good sense, and they smart as I don't know what, and super talented. So all of that together. Um, so when I was in high school, there's no. I mean, when I was, we were just friends. There was no way interest or anything. Um, we actually didn't start dating until I went to college, Howard University. Shout out to my HU Bisons. Um, so that's when. So I was a grown woman at that point, y'all. That's when we started dating. So some of the friends from Albina, we both ended up at Albina Christian Life Center, and so every year in the summer I'd go back to the East Coast, and I get to spend time with my paternal and maternal family, cousins, daddy, grandma, aunts, um, and I'd spend summers in DC, Alexandria, Virginia, and then school years in Portland, Oregon. And that first year when I went to college, oh, first I got to tell y'all how we met. First, I got to tell y'all how we met. But I'm going to just put a bookmark on that part, okay? I'm going to tell y'all how we met. But I want to share one more poem about Mama first, um, because I'm remembering Mama, and I was saying I appreciated their relationship, because even before we were dating, Alvin called, my husband's name is Alvin. I call him Slim, or my chocolate, or Hun. And he calls me his sweetheart, or Hun, um, or Angela, especially if I make him upset, Angela. So anyway, he called Mama Mama. And it was, we went to the same church, and it had nothing to do with me. They just had such a good relationship. He'd come in, like he dropped me off. Almost always, Mama has something, some good food on the stove, or in the fridge. He just knew he could come in, make himself at home. He would grab some food. I wouldn't always be the last van stop, but he grabbed some food or whatever. They just had a good relationship, even before we were dating. Um, so anyway, I'm gonna read this. Mama was a character. She loved to speak in rhymes, and that's really where I got my love of poetry from. So I'm gonna just give you a little bit about Mama's character. I'll read. This poem is called Mama's Rhymes, and it's a book dedication to a book I wrote some years back that's called Without God. And I know now that without God, I never would have made it. So, anyway, Mama's Rhymes, book dedication. My mama spoke in rhymes from time to time. She taught me my first poem and loved to recite. I understand I am a Negro, she'd say. My face is black, that's true. From the dust, God made us all, so I know He made me too. She learned that poem when she was young and in school. When I was young, Mama read me rhymes by Dr. Seuss. After Mama cooked dinner and we'd say our grace, Mama would often have a funny rhyme to say, like, Jesus wept, Peter crept into the room where the widow slept. Now, growing up, just going to put a little pause there for a moment. I would hear these rhymes as a child, but then as an adult, when I think about some of these rhymes, I'm like, wait a minute. Jesus wept, Peter crept into the room where the widow slept. Never, nothing in the scripture about that. These are just silly rhymes that mama either made up or heard and just kept saying, that Mississippi girl. Or she'd say, God bless the food, bless the kind cook. All don't have enough, stand back and look. And if she thought you were being rude, she'd state these lines with an attitude. Honey, if you don't like it, you don't have to take it. Here's my collar, come and shake it. I never understood that as a child. Like, why would somebody shake your collar? Like, what does this mean? But then as I got older, I understood it mean like, try me and try and see. Here's my collar, come and shake it. Where it go? And wasn't nobody gonna shake the collar of my mama, for she was loud, bold, and full of drama. But she had a soft side and taught me how to pray. On my knees at night before in bed I'd lay, together we'd say, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. God bless Mama, Daddy, and we go down the line and call out all the names and everybody in the whole wide world. Amen. I was so glad to be Mama's little girl. And when it was time to go or say goodbye, she would often quote these couple of lines. Child, I'ma do you like a potato, plant you now and dig you later. My love for poetry deeply lies in the funny poems and prayers that my dear sweet mama used to recite. Snap, 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 snap. So, 7 snaps from Mama, poem about Mama. I haven't done that book in a while. I'm gonna have to pull that book out. So when I used to do custom poetry, people would pay me a little fee and give me some information about their loved one or their event or what have you, and I'd write a poem. But since I'm celebrating my husband, and I don't know if you all can see this, but this is a picture. This is a picture of the frame. For those who are listening, it's like just a wooden frame, and then there's a blue mat. And the reason the blue mat frame inside the bigger glass frame with the wood, it's wooden frame with glass on top. Blue was one of Mama's favorite colors. And somewhere, purple was always my favorite color. And when Mama passed in 2004, purple was still my favorite color. And I don't know when it happened, but I looked up and maybe around 2007, I don't know. One day my favorite color was blue. I don't even know when it happened, but I felt like that was Mama. Mama had something to do with that. So that's what the poem looked like. Like I would write the poem and then I'd put it on pretty paper. So this book that looks like kind of a photo album, I'd actually go through here and, people would get to pick out their paper. And my trainer for this, my mentor for doing custom poetry is my sister friend, Mosetta Zion. And so she just had a really organized system. And I wrote a poem for my children, and it's right here, but I also wanted to find the picture so I can show y'all the picture. So I'm turning through, for those of you who are listening, I'm turning through the pages here. So this is this is a young picture. You hear the snap of the 3-ring binder that I have the poems in. It's going to snap again. And here's the picture. it might be kind of the light shining on it, but it's a picture. This is a picture. This is like one of the last pictures where my daughter was still taller than my sons. They both passed her up. The youngest one is the tallest, I believe. And then my son, Alvin, is also pretty tall. And yeah, so in this picture, Alea is the tallest. And I believe this is when she was about 15 right here. And then Alvin Jr. was still a little shorter than her at 13. And then Lex, then that would make him about 11. So here's the poem for them that I wrote for them. Y'all still ain't paid me. Well, I guess maybe we'll count the jingle as partial payment for this for this poem, but it's just spelled out. Our daddy Alvin is true. Um, and so it says our daddy, and it spells out Alvin, always there for our family. That's A, always there for our family. You are L, loving and true, modeling. V, victorious living, and all. L, I, in all you say and do. And then N, noble. You are inspiring and spreading the truth, teaching the gospel, reaching and educating the youth, unselfish and understanding, enthusiastic and encouraging. So today we would like to say thank you for being a true father. And I'm going to put this little book down. But some of you, if you are in the Portland metropolitan area or went to Albina, or knew me from back in the day, I may have done some custom poetry for you. So today, I just want to share a little bit. Let's see if I shared everything I put on my cards about what I wanted to say about my husband. Oh, how we first met. Okay, y'all. How we first met, I was 13 years old, and I'm hearing the jokes from my kids. I was 13 years old, and we had a family friend. Mama was helping take care of a family friend's daughter. Her name is Alma. So Alma, if you're listening, I love you. And so Alma was going to a program called Friends for Kids. How many of y'all, Portland, or maybe you live somewhere else, but you used to be in Portland, how many of y'all ever went to Friends for Kids? I'd love for you to share a story or any memory that you have from Friends for Kids. Hit me up when this airs. I'll have like a Friends for Kids something on social media, so you can just go under there and comment. But yeah, Friends for Kids. So they wanted to kind of Mama wanted to keep her routine the same. You know, she couldn't be with her mom at the time, but she wanted to keep her routine, you know, almost the same, to not disrupt her life so much. So somehow she found out that Alma went to Friends for Kids and reached out to them. And so one day, I was in 8th grade at the time. Alvin was the van driver, and so he came to pick up Alma. And when he came, he actually, Mama had me open the door, and I opened the door, and it's just this, you know, dark chocolate brother with a big smile, with a gap and a afro. And I was like, whoo, in my brain, I was like, he is fine. And so then all of a sudden, I was in the living room writing. I was always writing something. So I was in the living room writing, but I just got a urge to want to go to the after school program. So I said, how old do you have to be to go to the program? And Alma was like, goodness. I was in 8th grade, so she might have been like 2nd grade or something like that. She's a lot younger. And so he said, oh, we have people all the way up to high school. And I was like, really? Can I go? I wasn't thinking about that program, y'all. I just wanted to go be where this fine man was going to be. That was my first crush. I call it my one day crush. So then I went to the Friends for Kids program. I think it was over on Albina at that time, and that church later became Salvation. I think it was Salvation and Deliverance. I'm not sure what it is now. If it's even, I believe PCC owns that property now, so it's probably, I'm sure, eminent domain. Even a lot of our churches, our old church Albina, even where we used to go, was also. They also got our property, the church, through eminent domain. Um, our old church, Albina Christian Life Center, which is also always going to be a family church. Anyway, I went to that program, y'all. It was so boring. It was so boring. Now, mind you, I was very active. I was an active young person. I was in solo ensemble contests for playing flute solos every year. Every year, I always got a score of one. I always worked really hard on my pieces and always did really well. I was in junior choir at Haven Bible Church, which is no longer around, but that was in North Portland, off of Lombard. I wrote, I was always writing. I had my friends. I mean, I stayed busy and stayed active. So I really didn't need that after school. And of course, when he picked me up, I was at home with mama. Most of the kids were, a lot of them were latchkey kids, that they would pick them up after school so they'd have something to do 2 or 3 hours and then bring them home by the time the, the parents were home from work. And this is back before SEI was around. So Friends for Kids is one of the original latchkey programs in Portland, Oregon. So shout out to Friends for Kids. That's how we met. It was a one-day crush. I forgot about it. After that day, I was like, I don't ever want to go back to that program. It was fun. It was a good program. It's just, I'm in 8th grade. I didn't need that. And again, I'm home with mama. So certainly wasn't a latchkey kid. Well, I was at times, but not at that time. So fast forward to, I already told you we started dating in college. So yeah, today we have been married 38 years, and I'm going to share some of the poems that I've written about him and us. And I'm reading from my book that is available on my website called Black Fury, Fierce Recovery. And this is a book that has stories about, it's an ebook, and I'm going to turn this around so you can see the cover. It has a lot of poems about body acceptance, fat acceptance, intersectionality, Black herstory, faith and pandemic. Did a lot of writing during the pandemic to help me keep my sanity. About Black Lives Matter, about body trust, about poems about inspiration, and Black love. That's one of the things about Black love. So just wanted to show y'all that cover. This book is filled with art and photography by both Rachel Hadiashar and Sharon Thomas. And yeah, it's just a lot of body. It's a body positive. It's not all bodies, but it just has visual art throughout the book. So now I'm going to go to the poems that I'm going to share. Just a few. Go to my bookmarks. So in the section on Black love, I'm going to share 3 poems. Okay. The first one is a short called Bring Me Your Fire. Bring me your fire. I wrote this to my husband. No last minute loving, no afterthought loving, no spark easily snuffed out, no quickies will do. But bring me your fire to match my desire For my love requires more time and more you. Snap, 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 snap. Now, y'all are getting to know me, but when I share poetry, I snap for myself. So this is the poem I'm just showing you in the ebook, so you can get an idea. Like there's a picture of a couple, and yeah, they're just smiling, and the man is standing behind her like just a loving embrace. She has on a tan coat. He has on like a tweed like jacket with brown and orange and tan, and they just look happy. They just look in love, like they're in love. The next one is called Prize Fighting for Black Love. And in the image, there's a picture of a pair of boxing gloves. If you can see that. Those of you who are viewing, you can see on the top right-hand corner, there's a pair of brown boxing gloves. For those who are listening, kind of hanging from a string. Prize fighting for black love. He's fighting for me, fighting for my black love. He's fighting for the prize of my virtuous essence. He's fighting for me, loves my colorful cuteness, and he's not afraid of my out of the boxness, nor of my perspectives and my truth abruptness. He's fighting for me and will go extra miles for my smartness and smiles, my unique sense of style. Okay? For my bountiful faith and my sensual embrace, he's fighting for me, and heavens, yes, I am worthy. Proved his love to God and Mama, let them know he deserved me. He's fighting for me, my compassionate spirit. My love plus his love is our love without limits. Our true love game hops from depth to new dimensions. Our stick-to-itness slam dunks to a love without pretensions. From high skies to deep oceans, through long talks, silent treatments, 38 years of wedded devotion, 39 years, no resentments. He's fighting for me now, through much laughter and pain. He's the king and my queendom, our love royally unfeigned. Like old leather, blue jeans, and wine, our love gets better with passing time. I'm his beloved prize, and yes, honey child, he is mine. We'll both keep fighting 12 rounds of life, because to love is to fight, and how he loves this sister girl. Loving me is his birthright. I'm universe, and he's my world. And at the end of that, snap, 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 snap. At the end of this, there's a poem, there's a picture of a pink boxing glove, kind of giving a pound to a black boxing glove. I just felt like that image really fit that poem. And the last poem I'm going to share, and I love that because you're not married. You don't stay married or with someone for 39 years and not have challenges, not having times where it gets really hard. And I'm going to talk about some of those times in the future. But for today, I just want to say I am so happy that on November 20th, Alvin Lane Johnson was born, senior, Alvin Lane Johnson Sr. He wasn't a senior when he was born. He became senior when he became the daddy of Alvin Jr. So, he's the gift. But I'm so glad that on November 20th, many years ago, at least 6 decades and some change ago, that Alvin Lane Johnson was born. And he is the gift that keeps on giving. He is giving truth. He is giving godliness. He is giving love. He is giving jubilance, excitement. He's giving education. He's giving leadership. He's giving community, like he loves community. He's giving evangelism and outreach and Jesus and the gospel and Sunday school lessons and worship and praise. And he's a beautiful father. He's a beautiful husband. He's a beautiful family member, sibling, looks out for his family, cousins. So anyway, this last poem I'm going to share is called We Us. I love this. So it's the blue background, and it's just a picture of us. This is one of the pictures taken by in Rachel's studio, Zing Studio Sherwood, and yeah, it's called We Us. we change in our pictures. We change. That's just what bodies do. Bodies change. It's not unusual. Diet culture will have us all trying to stay like we were when we were in high school, but that's not reality. For many of us, that's not anyway. So this is called We Us. We love, we live, we take, we give. We fight, we cry, we ignite, we try. We lie, we reveal, we forgive, we heal. We question, we fear, we hope, we cheer. We birth, we bury, we pace, we hurry. We build, we grow, we discern, we know. We parent, we teach, we nurture, we reach. We discourage, we pray, we encourage, we stay. We ask, we learn, we value, we earn. We clothe, we slay, we undress, we lay. We cherish, we play, we worship, we praise. We follow, we lead, we have, we need. We argue, we unfold, we resolve, we hold. We laugh, we trust, we commit, we us. Snap, 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 snap. And I'm going to show y'all this picture. This is another picture. So yeah, so this book, Black Fury, Fierce Recovery, it's about 200 pages. And that's just a good picture of us. Another one from Zing Studio. Yeah, so that is what I wanted to start this episode with. It's a 0 episode, introductory episode, remembering Mama, celebrating Slim, letting you know a little bit about who I am. So these days, what are some things that I enjoy? I love to write. I love to read. I love to listen to audiobooks. I love to play ping pong. I love to play tennis, but don't play it as much these days. Stick with the ping pong. I love to move. I love to dance. I love to get in the water. I love movement. And I love moving in a way that honors my body. I love watching like corny Hallmark movies and Christmas movies. I love the Afrocentric movies. I love so many things. I love being with my family, watching movies. I love having like the fireplace on and like reading a book or writing with or sounds of like on YouTube, like putting on the sounds of water, or just, I just like setting up the ambiance. And I love nature. I love nature. I love nature, but Honey Child, she does not love me back. I have a lot of environmental allergies. So, I'm one of the people that when the air quality gets bad, that has to stay inside because my lungs are super sensitive. But I still love to go out and walk. Sometimes I'll walk with a mask. I was doing that. I was wearing a mask sometimes before the pandemic to block fragrance because I'm also scent sensitive. So my disabilities are mostly unseen, um, but I also have like issues with my joints on my left side, especially my ankle, left ankle. But um, yeah, I just love living life. Um, I love leading groups like healing groups and um, yeah, writing groups, creative groups. Um, yeah, I love to cook. Well, I'm gonna say I like to cook. I used to love to cook, but I mean, yeah, as I've gotten older, it's not my favorite thing anymore. But I do cook mostly because when I cook, I can control what's in the ingredients. So I'm way less likely to have an allergy reaction. Um, love my family. I want to just say before I end this episode tonight, I want to give a special thanks to my babies, to my children. I already said their names earlier, but Alea Loren, Alvin Jr., Alexander, and I'm going to thank all of them and Ian, Lindsay, my son from another mom. So when I wrote the jingle for this podcast, I I wrote the melody and then I wrote the lyrics first. And when I wrote the lyrics, it was going to be something else. I was going to call it something different, but Poetically Inspiring Change is a name that I've been rocking with since 2011. So I figure I'll just call it that, Poetically Inspiring Change. That is my desire, to be here to share poetry, to inspire change. Um, the change for tonight is just, it's experiencing joy. Mama gave me so much joy. Mama gave me life. I'm here because of Mama. But my babies, let me tell you, I sent the like a voice memo. I just sang it and sent it to my oldest son, Alvin Jr., and asked if he can, get the band together, and him being a music director, if he can get everybody together and make it a finished product so I could have it for the podcast. And so they did it, y'all. They did it. So Alvin is the arranger. You'll see all this on the credits, but he arranged it. I wrote it. I wrote the lyrics and the melody, and then he produced it and helped arrange it. And then Ian also helped arrange it. Ian engineered it. Alea Loren sang the melody, so she's the one singing. And Alexander, Alex, y'all call him, or AJ, he was the percussionist playing drums. So y'all can hear a little bit of it now as we go on the way out. Please join me again. We'll be talking about healing. We'll be talking about joy. We'll be talking about recovery, a lot about recovery. And yeah, hopefully this will be a healthy, weight neutral, positive space for you to come. All right. Thank you so much for being here and being here with me. Thank you for listening. Please share this. If I said anything that spoke to you or ministered to you, please let me know. Please reach out to me, Poetically Inspiring Change, social media on Instagram and Facebook. I'm on Instagram more than Facebook, or my website, angelabraxtonjohnson.com. And feel free to purchase a book. And if you purchase a book, they're ebooks, except for the Who's Watching Me book. But what I read from tonight, that's an ebook, about 200 pages. And it will come right to you. It's an instant download. You can read it from Kindle. You can read it from iBooks, or you can read it from a PDF reader, or you can just read it from your browser. So if you have internet, if you can get Google Chrome or Safari or Firefox or Edge, whatever all the browsers are, you can read my book from there. Hopefully someday I'll have that one published in a hard copy, because I know there's some of y'all out there that's saying, I want the book, but I want it in a hard copy. So I'm working on that. But thank you so much again for joining me. And if you get a chance, please wish my husband a happy birthday. All right. Bye, y'all. Mwah.